For more than a decade, the Divine Eagle barely existed in the public eye. Then, in late 2024, a strange drone appeared in the skies over the South China Sea, twin-fuselaged, jet-powered, and larger than life. Built by the same company behind China's stealth fighters and next-gen bombers, the Divine Eagle drone quickly turned heads. Its profile drew immediate comparisons to the American RQ-4 Global Hawk, and even an abandoned Russian design known as the F-22, a never-flown high-altitude platform. But the Divine Eagle wasn't just another knockoff. It was bigger, weirder, and clearly built for more than passive surveillance. Behind the scenes. For decades, China's growing military focused solely on coastal defense. But in 2015, a newly published white paper ended the doctrine by declaring that, quote, the traditional mentality that land outweighs sea must be abandoned. It called for the People's Liberation Army to prepare for open sea protection. The focus then turned to the first and second island chains, a sweeping arc of strategic territory stretching from Japan to Guam. Now, Beijing wants these lines that once defined the outer edge of American reach to be under constant surveillance, within strike range and firmly inside its sphere of control. Deep behind the scenes, with perfect timing, something else was moving along. Not long after the document was published, a strange series of photos began surfacing on Chinese military forums. Though blurry and partially censored, the images were an unmistakable shape of a twin-fuselage drone of unusual proportions, then perhaps the world's largest in the arsenal of the People's Liberation Army, parked on a remote airstrip. Soon enough, aviation enthusiasts and open intelligence analysts alike recognized the design as one made for high altitude, long endurance, and quite similar in scale to the now iconic American-made Global Hawk, albeit stranger, and built for something far more specific than surveillance. In China, major military platforms are usually unveiled with high-profile flyovers during the National Day Parade, complete with polished commentary, choreographed formations, and large cheering crowds. For years, models like the J-20 stealth fighter, the H-6K bomber, and the DF-17 hypersonic missile all made their debuts in the spotlight. But with this odd and unusual drone, there was no press release, no flyover, no official announcement. Only a name that quietly appeared in defense circles and online forums. WZ-9 Shendiao, Divine Eagle. The utmost priority. Developed by the Black Division of Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, the same unit behind some of China's most secretive and unconventional programs, the Divine Eagle reportedly shows influence from the Sukhoi S-62. This was a little-known Russian concept from the early 2000s of a conceptual twin-fuselage, high-altitude, long-endurance UAV, a never-realized project that vanished before it ever took flight. The Eagle's reported length, just shy of 50 feet, suggests it wasn't built just to observe. Some claimed its technology to expose even the latest state-of-the-art stealth aircraft. Others believed it could harvest signals from deep inside foreign airspace. Though nothing was confirmed, the rumors all pointed in the same direction. With reportedly 8 radar arrays stretched across its twin fuselages, the Divine Eagle was built to sweep the skies and surface alike, tracking aircraft, ships, and anything that moved, rendering entire coastlines into radar-precise targeting maps. In late 2015, the first prototype reportedly took off on its maiden flight, followed by sightings of this massive drone in the skies above China and parked at key military and manufacturing sites. According to former Pentagon official Mark Stokes, for the People's Liberation Army, quote, a high-altitude, long-endurance UAV appears to be a high priority. Quietly, this top-secret drone had left the drawing table for the skies. Then, suddenly, and without explanation, the trail on China's Divine Eagle went cold. For years, there were no official mentions and no new footage. However, those deep in military and warfare circles knew the drone wasn't shelved like its Russian sister. The project was moving on, out of sight, but not out of the game. Late 2023 brought a photograph of a single WZ-9 drone, painted in the classic dark gray livery of the People's Liberation Army Air Force, spotted at Lidong Air Base on Hainan Island. Gone was the bare metal, factory primer, or bright yellow test scheme. This image proved the project wasn't a mock-up. it was a clear sign that the Divine Eagle was moving straight toward operational deployment. The Eagle takes flight. In late 2024, China's long-rumored WZ-9 drone was finally caught and filmed mid-flight, its massive twin-fuselage shape slicing across the sky and showing off its unusual design. And the model didn't arrive alone. Only weeks earlier, the nation unveiled the J-35 carrier-based stealth fighter and the upgraded J-20B, a much more refined variant of its fifth-generation flagship. Nearly simultaneously, the PLA Navy launched the 40,000-ton Type 76 assault ship Sichuan, a next-generation platform designed to carry drones, helicopters, and possibly electromagnetic catapults. With this, the Divine Eagle becomes the latest recruit in this fast-growing strike and surveillance force. Now, the Eagle was airborne, with some of its details also in full display. While the model was once thought to be the largest combat drone in the world, the Divine Eagle has since been edged out by platforms like the US RQ-180. But in China's arsenal, it remains unmatched in size, altitude, and reach. The WZ-9's twin-boom layout is a clear visual parallel to the Lockheed P-38 Lightning from World War II, the most iconic twin-boom aircraft ever built, and this throwback is anything but a nostalgic nod. By ditching a traditional single fuselage, China's newest drone can achieve a much longer wingspan without the weight of a central fuselage, making it more stable at high altitudes and better for loitering over vast stretches of ocean. The twin booms also give engineers more surface area to mount sensors and radar arrays, while freeing up the central spine to carry the jet engine and internal system. In contrast to its World War II predecessor, the Divine Eagle features a smaller forward wing that acts as a stabilizer, and a much larger rear wing that links the twin fuselages together. Two vertical fins rise at the tail, while a single jet engine is mounted high between them, nestled in the central wing section, and positioned to minimize its heat signature from below. While no technical specifications have been released, analysts and enthusiasts alike believe it was built to operate as part of a broader network, sharing data with other high-altitude UAVs, like the WZ-7 Soaring Dragon. This would allow the PLA to combine active radar scans with passive signal collection across a wide battle space. For Chinese planners, this fits into a more significant effort, building layered sensor grids, tightening targeting cycles, and feeding real-time data into long-range missile systems, all with the single goal of keeping every link in the Chinese protection and attack chain connected, no matter how far forward the fight moves. Deployed. Not long after, in February 2025, satellite imagery confirmed what had long been suspected. The WZ-9 Divine Eagle is now operating from Lidong Air Base. The images showed the aircraft parked on the tarmac alongside a WZ-7 Soaring Dragon and at least one other uncrewed platform. This latest development is a sign the platform has moved past developmental testing and into at least a limited operational role. And the location is no coincidence. Lidong, also referred to as Foluo Northeast Air Base, is located at the southwestern tip of Hainan. Though officially under PLA Navy control, the base has become a hub for advanced surveillance platforms and high-altitude drone operations, packed with hundreds of Chinese missile batteries, airstrips, and artificial islands. From there, the massive drone can monitor most of the hotly contested South China Sea, tracking surface and aerial activity of America and other NATO-friendly assets. What makes the WZ-9 different from the dozens of new drones built all over the world isn't its size, altitude, or endurance. It's what it threatens to undo. For over 2 decades, U.S. air dominance has depended on stealth. F-22s, F-35s, and soon the B-21 Raider, all platforms built to vanish into contested airspace, strike without warning, and leave without a trace. The Divine Eagle exists to end that advantage. Its quiet arrival in the South China Sea has already triggered a reaction. Now, the Pentagon is fast-tracking electronic warfare programs, AI-driven deception systems, and restructuring satellite networks, all in a bid to keep up with a region that's growing harder and harder to hide in. But none of that stops what's already begun. Because if the Divine Eagle works as intended, if it can spot what was never meant to be seen, It could mark the end of stealth as a guaranteed advantage for America and its allies, forcing the US military complex to completely rethink their strategy, to fight in skies where invisibility is no longer a given.